Wouldn't it be great if there was someone who sees your unlimited possibility and potential, who believes in you and wants to support you in manifesting your goals and dreams, who always sees your highest self in every situation? That person is your chaplain. When Reverend Karen invites you to pray after service, it's a wonderful opportunity to reinforce the spiritual principles that we're all striving to apply in our everyday lives. And yet, there are Sundays when the chaplains have no takers. Now, I'd like to believe it's because we're a congregation of highly evolved, enlightened ones who have it all figured out. But I suspect there are a few of us who are still struggling with this being human stuff. I'll admit, I used to feel a little uncomfortable myself asking for prayer. I grew up in a faith tradition where prayer meant reciting words by rote that had little meaning for me and usually included such uplifting statements as, "I am not worthy and it's my most grievous fault." Even when it was in Latin, I got the message. So by the time I came to Unity, I thought I could get by just fine without prayer. I didn't realize I was missing out on a powerful spiritual resource that was right in front of me. So I'd like to ask you to think for a few minutes about a time in the recent past when you might have been uncertain about a decision, feeling sad or discouraged, or facing a health challenge. If it didn't occur to you to ask a chaplain for prayer, I'd like to encourage you to put us on your spiritual practices checklist. Got a challenge? Pray with a chaplain. Your chaplain's team's mission is to support the prayer consciousness of this spiritual center. Everything we do, caring calls, writing newsletter articles, World Day of Prayer, wearing outlandish costumes and hamming it up in the variety show, maybe not that last one, but everything else is meant to help you get the most you can from your chaplain program and to make affirmative prayer part of your spiritual practice. So that's what Lynn Laney and I are doing here this morning, giving you an overview of what your chaplains can and would love to do for you. First, let's talk about the heart of the chaplain program, one-on-one prayer with our congregants. If you've never prayed with a chaplain, or if it's been a while, you might be wondering just what to expect. Or maybe I should start by telling you what not to expect. This is not an altar call or confession, and you are not a sinner. Your chaplain won't ask for any kind of penance, commitment, or conversion from you. We aren't anointed ones with some kind of special conduit to the divine either. We are spiritual seekers, just like you, who've been trained in affirmative prayer. And we won't pray down to you. We see you as our partner and co-creator. In fact, one of the most powerful aspects of one-on-one prayer is the connection we experience as we hold sacred space together. Before we move into prayer, we'll ask you if you want to set an intention, which, like everything else you share with us, we hold in the strictest confidence. You may simply want to pray in gratitude for all the blessings in your life, and that's wonderful. But if you are experiencing a challenge, you'll have an opportunity to express it now. And I should mention another thing not to expect. Your chaplain is not a therapist. We don't offer advice or psychological counseling. Of course, we listen with compassion if there's a need that brought you to prayer. But it's not our role to remain focused on the human need. Rather, we hold the high watch with you by affirming your spiritual powers and seeing the possibilities. That's what we do best. And now I'd like to show you a slide of a book that we used to develop a 5-step prayer process using this book and Unity Principles. And the book is How to Pray Without Talking to God by Reverend Linda Martella-Whitsitt. If you're interested in making a deeper study of affirmative prayer, I would highly recommend her book. Our approach to prayer is always evolving, and it's never dogmatic. You won't find the 5 steps carved into stone tablets hanging up in Manning Hall. We're open to change and new ideas that give us a deeper understanding of our divine nature. But for now, this is what you'll experience when you pray with us. So these are our 5 steps of our prayer process that we use. In the first step, we'll relax our minds and bodies by taking some calming breaths and noticing and releasing any tensions, very similar to what we do when we're preparing for meditation. If you're comfortable with it, we may join hands to deepen our feeling of connection with each other. We shift our attention from the outer to the inner experience of our divine nature, and we begin to create a safe, sacred space together. Next, we affirm our connection to one presence and one power, God, principle, whatever word it is that you use to describe the experience of oneness. Then we take that connection deeper as we rest in the silence together for a few moments. Your chaplain will then use denials and affirmations based on your intention to help you begin to release any doubts, fears, or worries, and to reinforce your awareness of your spiritual powers and the possibilities that are open to you. And finally, we'll close our prayer by expressing gratitude. Now we've prayed together, what results can you expect? Well, the situation you came to pray about probably won't disappear in a puff of fairy dust. The outer condition may remain unchanged for now, but the inner condition, your consciousness, the place where all real change begins, that's where prayer makes a difference. I love this quote Reverend Mark used in a talk about finding meaning in our lives a few weeks ago, because I think it expresses perfectly the way prayer can help us reset our thinking. I am here to make the best of this. I am here to apply the noblest qualities of my character, and here I added my divine powers to this situation. I am here to remain positive and find the true, the good, and the beautiful. No matter what situation I am facing, I can bring forth the qualities of justice, perseverance, joy, and tranquility. It's your chaplain's hope that our time together has helped you move closer to this state of consciousness about your situation. Our co-founder Charles Fillmore said that prayer is the highest form of thought. And we believe that one-on-one prayer, where we connect with each other and speak powerful words of truth aloud, is one of the highest forms of prayer. Affirmative prayer, like mindfulness and meditation, works best when we make it a habit. When we add prayer to our go-to list of spiritual practices, we give ourselves another tool to help us live more skillfully. If we're facing a challenge, it helps us refocus from the problem to the solution. And if we're experiencing a time of happiness, it helps us stay centered in gratitude. As Unity's 5th precept tells us, knowing what is true is not enough. We must put our truth into action. Prayer is one of the actions we can take to help us put feet to our beliefs and live our best possible life. And as your chaplains, it's our honor and privilege to support you. And now Chaplain Lynn Laney is going to tell you more about how we can do that.
I'm going to talk to you.
You're on.
You're on.
I'm
I
on?
can hear you.
Oh, thank you. You can't hear yourself when you're up here. Maybe that's a good thing. I'm going to talk about what you can expect from your chaplain. First of all, I'm going to talk about the caring calls that your chaplain makes. One of the perks of becoming a member of Unity of Auburn is that you are assigned a chaplain who calls you usually on a monthly basis. If you're a member and you haven't taken advantage of this awesome opportunity to pray with a chaplain, please contact the office or Therese Finn, and we can put you in touch with a chaplain to get you started on a monthly prayer call. If you're not a member, you can always pray in person with a chaplain after service. I promise you, chaplains do not bite, and praying together in person is a mighty powerful experience. If your chaplain is new to you, you'll receive a phone call introducing herself. She will ask if you'd enjoy having an affirmation left on your phone if you're not available to pray when she calls. Nothing, absolutely nothing you have prayed about or confided in with your chaplain will ever be left on your phone message. By the way, couples are not assigned the same chaplain. When you pray with your chaplain, you'll be asked to state your prayer intention. Your chaplain holds sacred space with you and in the strictest confidentiality. You may wish your prayer intention to be placed in our prayer chest at Unity of Auburn. None of these prayer intentions are read by chaplains or discussed by us in our chaplain meeting, and it's not necessary to put your name on these little prayer sheets. The intentions are prayed with here at Unity of Auburn for a month, and then we mail them back to Silent Unity, where they'll be prayed with 24/7 for yet another month. That's a whole bunch of prayer energy, it really is. If you want to pray with a chaplain at another time than you are scheduled to pray, please leave a message with the office and your chaplain will call you. Chaplains are also available to visit with you in the hospital or a care center or even at home if you wish. We will also let Reverend Mark and Reverend Karen know about your situation, but only with your permission. If you've never prayed with a chaplain by phone or in person, ask yourself, why not? Your chaplains do not judge your prayer intention, and again, we do not share any of your personal information. You know, sometimes you might remember that we sing, "Our thoughts, our prayers." Tanner Christensen, a neuroscientist, says, the action of having to vocalize your thoughts or ideas, and let's insert prayer right there, vocalizing prayer, turns them from some intangible, fluctuating series of brain activity into something more tangible, explicit, and lasting. We can apply this concept by praying with another person. I can tell you absolutely, when I pray in person with someone, there's an energy and a spiritual exchange that is absolutely real. We'd like to ask our chaplains who are working with us right now to please stand. We want to acknowledge them for their commitment. We really, really welcome all their amazing and powerful ideas and energy. We feel like we've had a transfusion. Thank you so much. And so, please accept this challenge of praying in person with your chaplain.
We think you really oughter.